It's the most miserable time of the year. When the wind and snow's blowing and my balls are going to freeze and fall off. It's the most miserable time of the year. That, boys and girls, was my rendition of It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year because, really, if you do live in a northern state and you receive snow on a regular basis during the winter months, you do know it is not the most wonderful time of year. Ignoring all the Christmas shopping and the Thanksgiving and the holidays and being with family and the torture of your soul in the form of salt trucks and all that, the weather makes it the most miserable time of the year. Maybe some of you are happier than I am and you just love being out there in the snow and watching kids make snow angels and watching them build little snowmen with crooked eyes and crooked hats and poorly constructed noses. Maybe you love all of that, but I don't. This is really making it hard for people to see that I really am not just one big fat asshole. But I really am not a big fat asshole. I just hate driving in the stuff. And I received my first injury today. That is a mild puncture wound. Yes, apparently when you have long bootlaces, they tend to catch and... Anyway, I'm not going to talk about my life too much. You guys don't like to hear about my life. Just to compound the greatness, I can't find a bottle opener for this beer here, so I'm going to try something I've never tried before. Oh, wow, would you look at that? Now, there's some things we say with changing climate, things we use, some superlatives, a lot of hyperbole that we use to describe the climate in any given time. In the heat, you know, you hear it's hot as hell. In the cold, you hear it's cold as hell. And that's where I get confused there, because during the summer months, you'll hear someone go outside and say, oh, it is hot as hell. You know, wiping the brow. How hot is hell, really? That's really what I've wanted to know. For all these years, all the years I was in Texas and it really was hot as hell, what is hot as hell? How hot is hell? And then you'll hear the next guy say, oh, man, it is hotter than hell out here. But this guy just said it's hot as hell. The temperature hasn't changed at all. This guy's saying it's hotter than hell. I did a little experiment one time. Okay, the same person. Twice during the day, he used metaphoric language to describe the climate. It was 85 degrees at one point, and he said, oh my God, man, it is hotter than hell out here. It was 85 degrees. Then during the afternoon heating, the temperature climbed to 93 degrees, and then I heard the same person say on the telephone, yeah, Mom, it's really hot as hell out here. Why wouldn't he have saved the hotter than hell for when it was 93 degrees? I mean, it was 85 then, and he said it was hotter than hell then. What sense does that make? Why do we say these things? Number one, we don't know how hot hell is. Number two, people are always inconsistent. If you know anything about me, it's that I love consistency. So that's why this is going to confuse me even further. This is why you know this is coming. Some people say it is cold as hell. So now we go from the global warming of hell, from hot to hotter, to the global cooling. Now hell's going through an ice age. Isn't that great? It's cold as hell out here. And then you'll hear people say it's colder than hell. You know what I say? It's colder than a witch's titty. And you know, that's also something interesting too, because when we describe the climate, we often use mythical things such as hell and witches. Okay? Witches don't exist. Maybe some of you may believe in witches, or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe there's some witches among us. I don't know. I've had a few relationships where I sort of thought either way about the woman, but that's for a different time. But hell and witches. You know what? I think people just need to be realistic more often, and things would go a whole lot smoother on this planet. Just be realistic, okay? Next time it's really, really, really hot and you're sweating your balls off, just say, wow, this ball sweat is leaking through my jeans. I hope nobody can see it. That'll give everybody a really, really strong and poignant idea of how hot it is. Or if it's really cold, just say, you know, if I'm out here any longer, my balls are going to shrivel up and fall off. Again, you're planting the image in people's heads. It sounds very childish. It sounds very sub-sophomoric, but trust me, if you give people a very vibrant image, they will know what you're talking about. Because if you're like me and you hear someone say it's colder than hell, okay, sure, the average person knows it's hyperbole. They just go, eh. But I'm not the average person. I tend to overthink things, and that keeps my circle of friends very, very, very limited and small, actually, but I like it that way. These are the kind of thoughts that make me very lonely at times, but also, if I'm lonely, these thoughts keep me company and keep me warm in cold weather such as this. So don't be afraid to use those vibrant images. Hotter than Satan's asshole, okay? Well, you see, you can even throw some mythical figures in there just to accentuate the feeling. Because you're already miserable, you may as well lighten people's moods. Hotter than Satan's anus, okay? Hotter than a Dutch oven. Hotter than the Jew. I'm not going to go there. But yes, those are just some things that I wonder about. The kind of things I think about when I'm home alone like I am right now. And it's so confusing. Hotter than hell, colder than hell. What the hell? You know? And you'll hear people say on this note of hell, I hear some people say, to hell with you, to hell with that, but then I'll hear somebody else say, the hell with that. Can anybody inform me as to what the difference is between to hell with you and the hell with you? I haven't been able to figure that one out either. You see, these things confuse me so. But that's why I have subscribers and fans, because you guys can explain these things to me, and that's what I ask of you. Explain some of these things to me. Why we tend to use these mythic figures to describe hyperbole. And yes, I do understand that these things are hyperbole, and in no way, shape, or form am I being serious about this video. If you can't tell by now, I'm being entirely facetious. I don't stand there at the bus stop or wherever I may be. Wait, I take a bus? No. Okay. I don't stand there outside at work, and when somebody says it's hotter than hell, I don't stand there and go, have you been to hell? Do you know how hot hell is? You know, the people in hell really, they could be very offended by that because they have to go through all that heat while you're sweating and pissing and moaning about it being 80 degrees out. You should apologize to the people in hell right now. And if it's colder than hell, then did hell freeze over? What, did I suddenly become funny or something? Did I suddenly become entertaining? Is that what it took for hell to freeze over? Oh, I should really go bandage this thing. My head feels really funny. Have a good day, folks. Oh, there's the door. Yeah.